Tom Miller had been cleaning office buildings in downtown Denver for 15 years when the strangest job offer of his life appeared on his phone. The notification glowed with an odd purple light that he'd never seen before, and the job listing was written in a way that made him pause. Seeking, expert in terrestrial sanitation and maintenance. Location, low Earth orbit. Species requirement, human. Experience, 10+ years in cleaning services. Salary, 500,000 universal credits, approximately $750,000 per year. Tom almost dropped his mop. He had to read the listing 3 times to make sure he wasn't hallucinating after breathing in too many cleaning chemicals. The salary alone was enough to make his head spin, but the location? Low Earth orbit? And what did they mean by species requirement? With trembling fingers, he pressed the apply button. To his shock, a beam of light shot down from the ceiling, scanning him from head to toe. A mechanical voice spoke from his phone, initial physical assessment complete. Candidate meets basic parameters. Proceeding to interview phase. Before Tom could process what was happening, a hologram materialized in front of him. The being looked like a tall, blue-skinned humanoid with 4 arms and crystalline growths protruding from its shoulders. It wore what appeared to be a very formal uniform covered in shifting geometric patterns. "Greetings, Tom Miller," the alien said in perfect English. "I am Station Director B-789, but you may call me Blue. I represent the Galactic Federation's cultural exchange program, and we are in desperate need of your expertise." Tom leaned against his mop for support. "My expertise?" "Yes. You see, we have a rather serious situation aboard our station. Despite our advanced technology, we cannot maintain cleanliness to acceptable standards. Our automated systems fail to understand the complex nature of different types of dirt and contamination. Our previous attempts at mechanical cleaning have resulted in unfortunate incidents." Blue's hologram flickered as they showed images of what looked like a massive space station. The interior shots revealed surfaces covered in strange stains, mysterious growths, and what appeared to be some kind of glowing moss. "Our station houses 17 different species, each with their own biological needs and waste products. Some secrete acidic compounds, others leave trails of crystalline residue, and a few shed spores that can interfere with our equipment. We've heard that humans have an almost mystical ability to maintain cleanliness in challenging environments." Tom couldn't help but laugh. "You mean you want to hire me as a space janitor? Sanitation engineer for a Class 7 multicultural space station," Blue corrected. "The position comes with full benefits, including universal healthcare, quantum pension, and free accommodation in the human-adapted section. We would also provide all necessary training regarding alien substances and safety protocols." As Tom stood there in the empty office building, mop still in hand, he thought about his life. He'd always taken pride in his work, even when others looked down on it. He'd developed his own cleaning solutions, learned the best techniques for different surfaces, and solved problems that expensive cleaning services couldn't handle. But he'd never imagined his skills would be noticed by beings from another world. "When do I start?" Tom heard himself say. Blue's crystalline growths glowed with what seemed like pleasure. "Excellent. Your transport will arrive in approximately 47 Earth minutes. Please gather any personal items you wish to bring. Oh, and Tom, you might want to bring that mop. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." As Tom rushed home to pack his bags, he couldn't help but grin. All those years of being just a janitor were about to pay off in ways he never could have imagined. Little did the Galactic Federation know, they were about to learn why humans had mastered the art of cleaning through millennia of dealing with their own mess. The adventure of a lifetime was about to begin, one cleaning challenge at a time. The transport ship that picked up Tom looked nothing like the sleek spaceships he'd seen in movies. Instead, it resembled a giant floating soap bubble with a metallic core. The journey to the space station took only 20 minutes, but they were the most exciting 20 minutes of Tom's life. As he stepped onto the station for the first time, Tom clutched his trusted mop like a security blanket. The station's main hall was enormous, with ceilings that stretched at least 50 feet high. The walls shimmed with a pearlescent coating that would have been beautiful if it weren't for the obvious problems. As you can see, Blue said, now physically present rather than a hologram, we have some challenges. They gestured to the floor, which was covered in a rainbow of different substances. There were purple footprints that seemed to glow, crystalline trails that looked like snail tracks made of diamonds, and some areas where the metal floor appeared to be slightly melted. What happened here? Tom asked, already mentally cataloging the different types of messes. The purple tracks are from the luminous ones, they absorb light and release it through their feet. The crystal trails are from the silicon people, and the melted spots, well, that's from our resident acid breathers. We've tried various cleaning robots, but they either get corroded, short-circuit, or spread the mess around even more. Tom knelt down and examined the purple footprints. They were slightly warm to the touch and had a texture like wet paint. He pulled out a small UV light from his cleaning kit, one of the tools he'd brought from Earth, and shined it on the marks. The footprints immediately began to fade. Blue's crystalline growths pulsed with excitement. Remarkable. How did you know to do that? Simple physics, Tom explained. If they absorb light and release it through their feet, then giving them extra light to absorb should make them release it faster. Like overcharging a battery. He moved to the crystal trails next. After a quick test with his pH strips, he pulled out a spray bottle of simple white vinegar. The crystals began to dissolve on contact, leaving the floor pristine. And the acid marks? Blue asked, now watching Tom with all four arms crossed in fascination. Tom grinned. Basic chemistry. If they're leaving acid marks, we need to neutralize them with a base. A mixture of baking soda and water should do the trick, though we might need to buff out some of the deeper scratches. As Tom worked, other aliens began to gather around, watching in amazement as he tackled each type of mess with simple but effective solutions. He heard them whispering among themselves in various languages, which his new universal translator rendered into English. Look at how it uses primitive tools with such precision. The human doesn't even need a quantum computer to calculate cleaning solutions. Is this what they call intuition? By the end of his first hour, Tom had cleaned a 20-foot section of the main hall to a mirror shine. The aliens erupted in applause, or their species equivalent of it. Some vibrated, others flashed different colors, and a few emitted pleasant harmonic tones. Blue approached Tom with all four arms outstretched. This is unprecedented. You've accomplished more in 1 hour than our automated systems have in a month. But... They hesitated, this is just the main hall. Wait until you see the cafeteria. Tom shouldered his mop with confidence. Bring it on. Though I might need to make a few calls to Earth. I'm gonna need more vinegar, baking soda, and about a dozen different types of scrub brushes. Oh, and does anyone here know how to make bleach? As he followed Blue toward their next challenge, Tom couldn't help but smile. Humans might not have the most advanced technology in the galaxy, but sometimes the oldest solutions were the best ones. He had a feeling he was about to teach these advanced aliens a thing or two about the art of good old-fashioned elbow grease. When Blue pushed open the cafeteria doors, Tom understood why they had hesitated earlier. The massive room looked like a science experiment gone wrong. Food residue of every color imaginable coated the walls, ceiling, and floors. Some of it moved. Some of it glowed. And some of it seemed to be having a chemical reaction with the metal tables. The cafeteria serves meals for all 17 species, Blue explained. Each requires different atmospheric conditions and food types. We've tried segregating dining areas, but, well, cultural exchange is messy business. Tom watched as a blob of what looked like green jelly slowly crawled up a wall. Is that food or a life form? Both, actually. The gel people prefer their meals still living. We've had trouble containing their leftovers. Taking out his notebook, yes, an actual paper notebook that made several aliens gasp in surprise, Tom began making a list. He'd learned long ago that the key to tackling any big cleaning job was to break it down into smaller tasks. First things first, he said. We need to understand what we're dealing with. Can you tell me about each type of food and how it reacts with different cleaning products? Blue's crystalline growths flickered with what Tom was learning to recognize as embarrassment. We don't actually know. Our automated systems were programmed to avoid mixing with any organic matter after several unfortunate incidents. Tom rolled up his sleeves. Then we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way, trial and error, but safely. He pulled out his collection of pH strips, test swabs, and small spray bottles filled with different cleaning solutions. Working methodically, Tom began testing each type of food residue. He discovered that the moving green jelly could be safely deactivated with a spritz of salt water. The glowing purple stains on the ceiling responded well to citrus-based cleaners. The metallic food favored by the silicon people had left burns on the tables, but a paste made from baking soda and hydrogen peroxide lifted them right out. As he worked, Tom explained his process to an ever-growing crowd of fascinated aliens. See, cleaning isn't just about wiping things away. It's about understanding the chemistry, the physics, and sometimes even the biology of dirt. Every mess has a solution, you just have to find the right approach. One of the aliens, a floating cloud of sparkles that Tom's translator identified as a quantum being, drifted closer. But how do you process all the variables without a computational matrix? Tom chuckled as he successfully neutralized a patch of acidic sauce with a careful application of his homemade alkaline cleaner. Humans have been cleaning up messes for thousands of years. We've learned a few things through experience. Sometimes the best computer is right here, he tapped his head. By the end of his first day, Tom had successfully mapped out every type of food residue in the cafeteria and developed a preliminary cleaning protocol for each. He'd also requested some modifications to the room itself. We need designated zones for different food types, he explained to Blue. Not separate rooms, but areas with specific containment features. Hydrophobic coatings here for the liquid diners, acid-resistant surfaces there for the corrosive eaters, and temperature-controlled sections for those who eat their food at extreme temperatures. Blue's crystals glowed with admiration. You've developed more practical solutions in one day than our engineering team has in a year. The council will be very interested in your recommendations. As Tom packed up his cleaning supplies for the day, he noticed something strange. The aliens weren't just watching him clean anymore, they were taking notes. Several had produced their own primitive cleaning tools, attempting to copy his techniques. I think, Blue said thoughtfully, we may need to expand your job description. Would you be interested in teaching a class on human cleaning methods? Tom grinned as he wiped his hands on his apron. Teaching aliens how to clean. Now that's something I never thought I'd put on my resume. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of his influence on galactic sanitation standards. Word spread quickly through the station about the human who could solve any cleaning problem. A week after Tom's arrival, he found himself standing in front of a converted storage bay that had been hastily transformed into a classroom. 30 aliens of various species sat before him, each equipped with basic cleaning supplies from Earth that had been rapidly replicated using the station's matter synthesizers. Welcome to Basic Human Cleaning Techniques 101, Tom said, trying to keep his voice steady. Public speaking had never been his thing, but the eager faces, and various other sensory organs, focused on him gave him confidence. Today, we're going to start with something simple but fundamental, the proper way to mop a floor. A tentacled being in the front row raised 3 of its appendages. Respected teacher, our species has developed quantum mops that can phase through solid matter to clean at the molecular level. Why should we learn about primitive water-based cleaning? Tom smiled and picked up his trusty mop. An excellent question. Can your quantum mop tell the difference between a coffee stain and a toxic chemical spill? Can it adjust its pressure based on the durability of the surface? Can it identify and adapt to new, unknown substances? The tentacled alien's color shifted to what Tom had learned was their equivalent of a blush. No, teacher. It cannot. Exactly. Technology is wonderful, but it can't replace experience and adaptability. Now, watch carefully. Tom dipped his mop into a bucket of water mixed with a simple cleaning solution. Notice how I'm not saturating the mop, just making it damp. Too much water is often worse than too little. The aliens watched in fascination as Tom demonstrated proper mopping technique, the figure-8 pattern, the way to apply pressure without damaging surfaces, and how to clean the mop between strokes. Some aliens took notes with holographic devices, while others recorded the lesson with their biological memory structures. Now, Tom said, I want each of you to try. Remember, it's not about strength or speed, it's about technique and attention to detail. What followed was both hilarious and heartwarming. The floating quantum being tried to manipulate a mop through pure energy fields. The silicon person's crystalline hands kept shattering mop handles until Tom helped them adjust their grip strength. The gel person simply absorbed their mop entirely before Tom explained they needed to keep the tool separate from their body mass. But slowly, surely, they began to get it. Tom moved from student to student, offering corrections and encouragement. He showed the quantum being how to maintain physical contact with their tools, taught the silicon person about gentle pressure, and helped the gel person understand the concept of tool use versus absorption. During the practical exercise, Blue appeared in the doorway. They watched as the aliens practiced their mopping, their crystalline growths glowing with what Tom now recognized as pride. The council has been monitoring your progress, Blue said quietly. They're impressed. Very impressed. Several other stations have requested similar training programs. It seems you've started quite a revolution in galactic cleaning methods. Tom watched as a group of aliens celebrated successfully cleaning up a test spill. You know what amazes me? Every species here has mastered faster-than-light travel, but they're excited about learning to use a mop. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the ones we overlook. That's why we needed a human perspective, Blue replied. Your species has a unique way of combining simple tools with complex problem-solving. You're teaching them more than just cleaning, you're teaching them how to think differently about problems. As the class continued their practice, Tom noticed something remarkable. The aliens weren't just learning to clean, they were starting to innovate. The quantum being had figured out how to use their energy fields to enhance rather than replace physical cleaning tools. The silicon person had developed a crystalline coating that made mop handles virtually unbreakable. The gel person had discovered they could sense chemical compositions through their mop handle, making it easier to identify stains. I think, Tom said with a grin, this is the beginning of a beautiful collaboration between human wisdom and alien technology. 1 month into his new job, Tom faced his biggest challenge yet. The station's alert system blared to life in the middle of the night cycle, its usual soft blue lighting replaced by pulsing red. Emergency in Laboratory Section 7, the automated voice announced. Unknown substance breach. All non-emergency personnel must evacuate immediately. Tom was already pulling on his protective gear when Blue appeared at his door, all 4 arms moving in agitated patterns. We need your help. There's been an accident in one of our experimental labs. Our containment systems are failing. Without hesitation, Tom grabbed his emergency cleaning kit, a special collection of supplies he'd put together after learning about the station's various potential hazards. Tell me what we're dealing with. As they rushed through the corridors, Blue explained. Two researchers were attempting to create a new type of self-cleaning material. They combined elements from various species' waste products, thinking they could harness their natural cleaning properties. But something went wrong. They reached laboratory section 7, and Tom's jaw dropped. Through the observation window, he could see a churning mass of multicolored slime that seemed to be eating through everything it touched. Worse, it was growing. It's breaking down matter at the molecular level and using it to replicate, Blue said, crystals pulsing with worry. Our automated systems can't touch it without being absorbed. We have less than an hour before it breaches the outer hull. Tom studied the substance, noticing patterns in its behavior. It's like a perfect storm of all the cleaning challenges we've faced. Look, it has the mobility of the gel people's food, the corrosive properties of the acid breather's residue, and the replication rate of those crystal trails. He pulled out his notebook, flipping through the pages of observations and solutions he'd collected. If it's using the properties of things we've already dealt with, then maybe we can stop it with methods we already know, Blue finished, catching on to his thinking. Tom nodded. Exactly. But we'll need to work fast. Get me access to the station's matter synthesizers. I need them to replicate some specific compounds in large quantities. The next 20 minutes were a blur of activity. Tom had the synthesizers create massive amounts of his most effective cleaning solutions, each designed to counter a specific property of the runaway substance. But the real stroke of genius came from something he'd learned in his cleaning classes. Remember how the quantum being figured out how to enhance physical cleaning with energy fields? Tom asked as he mixed solutions. And how the gel person could sense chemical compositions through tools. We're going to combine everything we've learned. Working with the station's engineers, Tom rigged up a delivery system that combined physical cleaning agents with energy fields modulated to disrupt the substance's molecular bonds. They added sensors inspired by the gel person's abilities to help target the cleaning agents more effectively. As the substance ate through the last layer of containment, Tom activated his jury-rigged cleaning system. Jets of specifically formulated cleaning solutions, energized by quantum fields, sprayed in a carefully calculated pattern. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the substance began to break down. Where it had been growing and consuming, it now began to shrink and solidify. Within minutes, the once threatening mass had been reduced to a harmless, inert pile of material that could be safely disposed of. The emergency was over. As cleanup crews moved in to deal with the aftermath, Blue approached Tom. You've done more than just save the station. You've proven that the combination of human ingenuity and alien technology can solve problems neither of us could handle alone. Tom wiped sweat from his forehead and smiled. You know what this means, don't you? We need to update the cleaning class curriculum. I think it's time we moved beyond basic mopping and into advanced problem solving. Looking at the now contained lab, Tom realized that being a space janitor had become more than just a job. It had become a mission to bridge the gap between human practical knowledge and alien technology, one cleaning challenge at a time. 3 months after the laboratory incident, Tom stood proudly in front of the station's newest addition, the Interstellar Cleaning Innovation Center. What had started as his simple cleaning classes had evolved into something much bigger. The converted cargo bay now housed a state-of-the-art facility where human cleaning wisdom met alien technology. As you can see, Tom explained to a group of visiting dignitaries from various alien worlds, we've created specialized training zones for different cleaning challenges. He gestured to different sections of the vast room, each designed to simulate specific maintenance scenarios. The first zone contained what looked like a regular Earth-style kitchen, complete with common stains and spills. We start here, with basics. Learning to clean simple messes helps understand the fundamental principles before moving to more complex challenges. A tentacled alien raised several appendages. But surely such primitive conditions are beneath our advanced civilizations? Tom smiled, having heard this question many times before. Watch this. He pressed a button, and suddenly the kitchen transformed. The coffee stains became radioactive plasma leaks. The grease spots turned into quantum phase residue. The soap scum transformed into exotic alien biofilms. The principles remain the same, Tom explained. Whether you're cleaning coffee or plasma, you need to understand the nature of the substance, its interaction with surfaces, and the most efficient way to remove it without causing damage. Starting with simple Earth scenarios builds that foundation. The tour continued to the research wing, where Tom's original students had become innovators in their own right. The quantum being had developed a new cleaning technique that combined traditional scrubbing with quantum field manipulation. The silicon person had created a line of crystalline cleaning tools that could adapt their hardness based on the surface being cleaned. The gel person had revolutionized the detection of harmful substances through their advanced sensory capabilities. But our proudest achievement, Tom said, leading the group to the center's highlight, is this. He revealed a massive holographic display showing a galaxy-wide network of cleaning data. We call it the Universal Cleaning Database. It combines thousands of years of human cleaning experience with the collective knowledge of every alien species we work with. The display showed real-time updates as cleaning challenges were solved across different space stations and colonies. Each solution was analyzed, cataloged, and shared with the entire network. What had started as Tom's simple notebook had grown into the galaxy's most comprehensive repository of cleaning knowledge. The beauty of it, Blue added, their crystals glowing with pride, is that it's constantly evolving. When someone encounters a new type of mess anywhere in the galaxy, they can consult the database for similar cases or contribute their own solutions. Tom demonstrated by inputting a recent challenge, a case where a teleportation accident had merged 3 different types of alien food into an entirely new substance. The database immediately provided several possible cleaning approaches, combined human common sense with alien technology in ways nobody had thought of before. We've even started developing predictive algorithms, Tom explained. By analyzing patterns in cleaning challenges, we can anticipate potential problems before they occur. It's revolutionizing how we approach station maintenance across the galaxy. As the tour concluded, one of the dignitaries, a being of pure light, approached Tom. When we first heard that a human janitor was teaching advanced civilizations about cleaning, many of us were skeptical. But you've created something remarkable here. You've shown us that true innovation often comes from combining the simple with the sophisticated. Tom looked around at what his simple cleaning knowledge had helped create. Students from across the galaxy now came to learn not just how to clean, but how to think about problems in new ways. The center had become a symbol of how different species could work together, each contributing their unique perspectives and abilities. You know what's funny? Tom said to Blue as the dignitaries departed. I used to think being a janitor was just about keeping things clean. Now I realize it's about something much bigger. It's about building bridges between worlds, one clean surface at a time. 1 year to the day after Tom first received that strange job notification on his phone, he stood at the window of his office in the Interstellar Cleaning Innovation Center, looking out at the Earth below. His office, much to his amusement, was larger than his entire apartment back in Denver had been. The walls were lined with awards and recognition from various alien civilizations, including the prestigious Galaxy's Top Innovator Award, the first time it had ever been given to a human. Reflecting on your first year? Blue asked, entering the office with their crystals glowing softly. Just thinking about how much has changed, Tom replied, turning from the window. A year ago, I was mopping floors in Denver. Now I'm helping coordinate cleaning operations across the galaxy. His desk display showed live feeds from various space stations and colonies where his cleaning methods were being implemented. The Universal Cleaning Database had grown to include over 1 million unique solutions, each combining human practical knowledge with alien technology in innovative ways. The Council has a new proposal for you, Blue said, their crystals shifting to a formal pattern. They want to expand the program. Not just cleaning anymore, they want to explore other areas of human practical knowledge. Engineering, cooking, crafts. They believe there might be more simple wisdom that advanced civilizations have overlooked. Tom chuckled. Who would have thought? The galaxy's most advanced species wanting to learn more about human common sense. That's not all, Blue continued. They're proposing to make Earth the center for this new knowledge exchange program. They want to build a massive complex, the Galactic Center for Practical Innovation. And they want you to lead it. Before Tom could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the station. But these weren't emergency alarms, they were celebration alerts. The doors to his office opened, and a crowd of his former students poured in, representing every species on the station. The quantum being floated forward. We couldn't let your one-year anniversary pass without a celebration, teacher. The silicon person stepped up next, their crystalline form glinting. We've calculated that your cleaning innovations have saved 2,749 facilities from critical failure in the past year alone. The gel person rippled with excitement. And the new cleaning technologies we've developed together have improved efficiency across the galaxy by 487%. As Tom looked around at his students, no, his colleagues now, he saw how far they'd all come. The quantum being no longer struggled with physical tools but had created an entirely new field of quantum physical cleaning. The silicon person had learned to handle the most delicate tasks with their crystalline hands. The gel person had become the galaxy's leading expert in substance analysis. You know what this reminds me of? Tom said, addressing the crowd. My first day here, when I was just trying to clean up some glowing footprints in the main hall. I thought I was just going to be a janitor, keeping one space station clean. But what we've really been doing is building bridges, between species, between technologies, between different ways of thinking. He walked to his desk and picked up his old notebook, now preserved in a quantum stasis field. Sometimes the simplest things, a mop, a cleaning solution, a notebook, can lead to the biggest changes. We just have to be willing to learn from each other. Blue's crystals pulsed with agreement. So, what do you say to the Council's proposal? Tom looked out at Earth again, then back at his alien friends and colleagues. I say yes, but on one condition, we keep things practical. No matter how advanced we get, no matter how much we expand, we never forget that sometimes the simplest solution is the best solution. As celebrations broke out around him, Tom smiled. He was no longer just a janitor, or even just a teacher. He had become a bridge between worlds, proving that humanity's practical knowledge, the simple wisdom gained through centuries of hands-on experience, had an important place in the galaxy's future. And it all started with a mop and a willingness to tackle any mess, no matter how alien it might be.